Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Ryan, and welcome back to the Herbalife 24 Sports Nutrition Training Series. This is part 3 in our 4-part series. In the last 2 sections, we covered general sports nutrition basics, as well as what you need to do pre-workout. So at this point, you've had a good breakfast, your body's ready to go. Now we still have to take care of our bodies and fuel ourselves during our workout. So as with pre-workout, your body has a set of goals that it wants to accomplish during workout. So first, you want to provide your body with adequate fuel, and we'll talk about what that means in a second. Second, you want to minimize muscle breakdown. So as with everything that we're going to be talking about in this series, the goal isn't just to work out one day. It's to be able to continue to work out day in and day out and maximize the gains and the body composition goals that you're looking for. So we want to make sure we protect our body while we're training. So the first thing is going back to this idea of carbohydrates. In the first section, we really talked about what a carbohydrate is. We talked about why your body needs them, and we talked about some of the myths that surround carbohydrates. There's so much about people thinking carbohydrates are going to make me fat. But the reality is, especially when you're exercising, your body needs carbohydrates. So it's the first source that your body is going to go to for energy. So if you don't have enough carbohydrates, it's basically like starting your car without any gas. You wouldn't start a workout, you wouldn't start your car without any gas, because it's not going to work out very well. So when you're exercising, you want to make sure while you're training, while you're going through your workout, you're providing your body with some good quality carbohydrates to help keep you energized. The more you work out, the harder you work out, the more your body actually relies on those carbohydrates. So think about the intensity of your workout. If you're kind of doing a lower intensity, maybe you're just going for a little bit of a walk, your body's going to be using a combination of fats and carbohydrates for energy. But as soon as you start to ramp up that intensity, as soon as you really start doing some of the interval training, some of the higher intensity work, even moderate to high intensity work, your body is almost going to be exclusively relying on carbohydrates. So think about it. As the intensity of the exercise goes up, the amount that your body relies on carbohydrates also is going to go up. So if you're not providing your body with carbohydrates, you're already setting yourself back to be able to maximize that workout. So do yourself a favor, have some good quality carbohydrates, and we'll talk in a second about where those come from. So it's not enough to just provide your body with carbohydrates. You actually also have to remain hydrated. So it's really 2 parts when you're working out. It's giving yourself fuel and maintaining hydration. Because when we think about how the body is actually composed, 60 to 70% of our body weight comes from water. So when you become dehydrated, it actually starts to cause a lot of problems for the body. And the thing with society today is we drink a lot. A lot of times we think, well, I'm hydrated because I'm drinking all day long. But when we think about some of the common beverages that we have during the day, they really kind of steer us in the wrong direction and actually give us a lot of empty calories that aren't helping our body achieve the goals that we're looking for. So if you look at these pictures of some of these common beverages, you'll see what looks like a normal day for someone. I hear it all the time. People say, Dana, you told me to eat this much, I'm eating this many calories, and I'm not losing weight. And what I typically then ask is, okay, what are you drinking? And we get often an answer that's something like, well, in the morning I go to my favorite coffee shop, I get this certain type of coffee, and then in the middle of the day as a pick-me-up, I have a soda or 2 just because I'm feeling run down, and then maybe at night I have a glass of wine or beer to help calm down. And reality is that scenario on itself is about 1,000 calories. So the reality of that is that that's basically empty calories. You might feel like you're drinking all day, but it's not adding any nutritional value to your day. So I think sometimes when it comes to liquids, it's hard to conceptualize what that actually means in terms of calories. So let's put that in perspective in terms of food. So if we go back to that sugary coffee drink, we can compare that to about a medium or large French fries, about 400 or so calories. If we look at that beer, it's compared to bacon that you would have in the morning. Or if we look at maybe orange juice, I think orange juice is something that really confuses a lot of people. They think, oh, it's juice, it's fruit, it's healthy. But the reality is a glass of orange juice is basically the same as consuming 3 pieces of white bread. So when you consume fruit juice, what happens is you've taken that fruit, you've taken the fiber, you've gotten rid of all the fiber, a lot of the nutrients, and when you juice it, it really just becomes a glass of sugar. So we have to be careful, just like we would with the soda, which is going to be equivalent to basically a sleeve of cookies. So while that all might sound depressing and you think, well, I don't like drinking water all day, maybe it's boring, fortunately at Herbalife Nutrition, we have other options for you. So whether it's drinking aloe or drinking the herbal tea concentrate, these are things that are going to help maintain your hydration during the day without adding excess calories. Because we know besides just day-to-day functions and needing to be hydrated for that, when you're active, being hydrated becomes so important for your performance. When we're talking about performance, I really want to be clear. I think a lot of people think about performance in terms of winning the Olympics or running a 3-hour marathon, but we're talking about performance in your specific case. Is it being able to run a block farther? Is it being able to do additional rep at the gym? Is it being able to swim another lap? Whatever performance means to you, that's what we're talking about in this case. So I want you to think about two people that are working out, okay? One that's hydrated and one that's not hydrated, and they're running laps, okay? The person that's hydrated is going to be able to maintain their speed and their performance a lot longer than that person that's dehydrated. So that person that's dehydrated, with every lap that they run, they're gonna become slower and slower and slower compared to that person that's hydrated. And what's kind of crazy to me is that it only takes being dehydrated 1 to 2% from your normal level to see this impact in your performance. And by the time you're thirsty, you're actually already dehydrated. So it's really crucial that you maintain and stay on top of your hydration throughout the day. So far when we've talked about during workout nutrition, we've talked about two components: having carbohydrates for fuel and being hydrated. So fortunately at Herbalife Nutrition, you guys have a great option that's going to be able to do both of those things for you at one time, which is CR7 Drive. So CR7 Drive is a combination of carbohydrates plus electrolytes that's going to help fuel you and help you maintain your hydration during your workout. But let's take a step back for a second and talk about where this product even came from. So in section 1, we talked a little bit about how I'm fortunate to work with all of our sponsor teams and athletes around the world, and how our relationship with all these athletes is truly authentic, and it's something where we want to help them with their performance. And our relationship with Ronaldo is no different. You know, we're not going to make a product, put someone's face on a product that they have absolutely nothing to do with. So this product started as a relationship with him and understanding what his nutritional needs were. So he had some pre-workout, he had some post, but he needed something to help fuel him on the pitch, which is where this idea of this sports drink came from. But starting from him, we went and we talked to the everyday exerciser, the gym goer, the recreational cyclist, to try and see what their needs actually were. And what we saw was that they wanted a lighter, easy to drink sports drink that they didn't have to cut with water, that they could just drink as designed. So what we ended up with was CR7 Drive, which is a 50-calorie sports drink. It's NSF for sport tested, and it's really a great option for a soccer player, a gym goer, anyone that's getting their heart rate up and sweating can really utilize CR7 Drive. You know, I know when a lot of you might be watching this, you might think, okay, I've tried to talk to people about CR7 Drive and they tell me it's a sugary sports drink, and I was told, the news tells me I can't use sugary sports drinks because they're bad for me. So let's put this in perspective for a second. So one serving of CR7 Drive has 9 grams of sugar. If we compare that to, say, a banana, just a regular sized banana, that is 15 grams of sugar. So in perspective, in relation to other things that you're going to be consuming, there's not a lot of sugar, and it's all going to be utilized by your body, right? So let's go back to what we talked about with those carbohydrates. They're your body's first source for energy. So as soon as you start exercising, as soon as your heart rate gets up, as soon as you start sweating, your body's going to access those sugars from CR7 Drive. So it's not a beverage that you're going to have just sitting on the couch watching TV, but as soon as you start transitioning to moving your body and stressing your body a little bit, it's going to be a great option to help fuel you and keep you hydrated. So as we wrap this section up, the key takeaways: carbohydrates for fuel, maintaining hydration, consuming adequate electrolytes so that you maintain your hydration and you can maximize your performance in every single workout. So far, we've talked about the basics of nutrition. You've got yourself fueled and ready for a workout. Now you know how to fuel yourself during a workout. In the last section, we'll talk about how to properly recover so that you can continue to work out all day, every day.